Hi Yarny friends, it's Dawn and TJ. Welcome to the Yarn Studio. This is my weekly podcast. We are on week 4, I believe, and today we're going to talk about Crochet for Charity. So we're going to talk about all different types of places that you can donate your crocheted items for different charity groups around the mostly the US. There are some places that I have found on the internet that are worldwide, but these are mostly places that are located within the United States. So let's let TJ get down here and we'll jump right into Crochet for Charity in the Yarn Studio. Before I jump into today's topic of Crochet for Charity, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that icon right down there in the corner. That will automatically subscribe you to my channel. And while you're down there, don't forget to ring that bell because that will notify you whenever I upload a new video. And if you like content like that, please give it a thumbs up because that will let YouTube know that you like my videos, and it'll also let me gauge what type of content you want to see on my channel. So, Crochet for Charity. Don't we all want to give our crochet to someone who's going to like it and appreciate it? There's lots of places that we can donate our crochet. But one more thing before I get into that. Look at this! I found this at Michael's. Isn't it adorable? 70% off. I told you I love collecting bunnies. So anyway, just had to show you that. Okay, so let me switch my glasses so I can see my computer screen. My computer is over here, so if I keep turning this way, sorry about that, my computer's over there. So I can't see my computer screen very well without my computer glasses on. So, Crochet for Charity. Now, there's lots of places that I found online, so I picked about, let's see, I've got like 7 places that are like, places that are like all over the U.S. All these are like United States. There may be 1 or 2 that might do things worldwide, but most of these are the United States. And then I have like 1 or 2 that are specific to a local area. So the first one I want to talk about is Knots of Love, and I'm sure lots of us have heard Knots of Love. They are like one of the big organizations that do like chemo hats for cancer patients. They also do NICU blankets for the premature babies, and they do a veterans cap drive. So they do hats, knitted hats and crochet hats for veterans. So if that's something that you're interested in, I will have links to all of the charities in the description box below. So you can just go on down there and click on the link and it'll bring you to their website. They also have a list of approved yarns that you can look up. You can download a PDF file that has a list of all the approved yarns, and they have free patterns as well. That list is a really good list to have if you plan to do any kind of crochet for charity, because that's the list that I would use to donate my crochet to pretty much any organization, because that yarn is like the gold standard for cancer patients or NICU or anything like that. Nice soft yarn. And so that's kind of the list that I would pick my yarns off of, though there are some other brands that you could find that are pretty soft too, but if you're not sure, that's always a good fallback to go on. The second charity that I want to talk about is called Project Linus, and I know a few years back, probably several years back, the Crochet Crowd, Mikey from the Crochet Crowd, did one of his crochet cruises where everybody made squares and they sewed them together for Project Linus. For the blankets. So you can, if you want to do blankets, you can donate them to Project Linus. A lot of them have chapters in all 50 states, so you might even have a local chapter, so you don't have to actually mail your blankets. You could bring them to the local chapter to donate them, and those ones stay within that local community as well. So you'll be donating to kids from the ages of 0 up to 18 in your local community that could use those blankets. So for kids that are seriously ill, traumatized, or any type of reason that they might need a little comfort for the blankets. And I believe that it is Project Linus that was started with a little girl named Laura who was recovering from leukemia, and it was like a write-up in a big newspaper or something, and somebody, the CEO of Project Linus, was very touched by this little girl, and that's how they started making the blankets, homemade blankets, to help children get through their illnesses. So I thought that was a really, really sweet idea, and I thought, wow, that would be such a great idea, to make blankets to help children. So anyway, the link will be in the description box below. And the next charity, number 3, is Warm Up America, another blanket or another organization that does blankets. This one intrigued me a lot too, because you don't actually have to make a full blanket. What they do is you can make squares that are 7 by 9 inches. And then they have volunteers called joiners that will join the squares together to make full-size blankets. And they give these blankets out to hospitals and VA hospitals, homeless shelters around the United States. They have chapters around the area as well. I believe they are based in Texas. I might not be 100% on that. You'll have to check their website, which will be linked in the description box below. They also collect other handmade clothing, hats, scarves, and whatnot, and they distribute those as well. So that's a pretty good organization too if you're looking to donate your handmade items. The next one is, this one has chapters in the United States, Canada, and Australia, and it's called Crochet for Cancer. It was to make chemo caps for cancer patients. This organization was started by a mother and daughter when the mother was diagnosed with, I believe, breast cancer, and after she was in remission, her and her daughter started as a pay it forward to the people who helped her through her breast cancer. They started this project to make chemo caps for other cancer patients. They have a map on there. I believe it's a map they have on their website where you can find the local chapters in your state. So you can go, and they have YouTube videos, they have free patterns, they have lots of different stuff on their website. Again, that one is a faith-based organization, so if that's something that is important to you to donate to an organization that is faith-based, click on Crochet for Cancer, and that will be an organization for you. The next one I have on my list is called the Red Scarf Project. Now this project here is part of the Foster Care to Success program, and this program, what it does is it helps support kids that have aged out of the foster care system but they never got adopted. So what happens, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but a lot of times kids, when they turn 18, they didn't get adopted. They've spent all that time growing up in foster care, and they don't get adopted. They're just, here you go, 18, you're on your own. And what this program does, it helps support these kids, helps them get in scholarships to go to college, with scholarships and grants, and when those kids are in college, they send them care packages, just like you would if you had family, because a lot of time these kids don't have any family. And they also do mentorship programs to help them basically get an education, get a job, and become successful in their adulthood. What they do with the red scarves, this goes into their care package, and this kind of just like a reminder to let them know that there are people out there that still care about them and love them. And I thought it was a really good, well-worthy project. They only accept scarves, though, between September 1st and December 15th, because they do have limited space where they can keep the scarves. So they like to just pack them and get them out to the kids. So if that is a organization that you feel that is for you, click on the Red Scarf Project and you can read all about it. The next charity that I have on my list is called Knitted Knockers. It's not just knitted, it's also crochet. And these are handmade breast prostheses for women that have had breast cancer and have undergone mastectomy or lumpectomies. And they just feel like the traditional breast prostheses are just too hot, heavy, and sticky. And the knitted ones, or the knitted and crocheted ones, they can put those in a regular bra. They don't need a special bra. They're usually lighter in weight. They're more comfortable. You can make them from cotton, and they're breathable. Some women just prefer the handmade ones over the traditional breast prostheses, and these are provided free of charge to the women, which sometimes is a huge blessing, because some women they can't afford a prosthesis, and this is provided to them for free as well. So go on over to Knitted Knockers and you can get patterns, yarn suggestions, and whatnot. Whoops, I guess one of my bunnies fell. Okay, so my next one is this is for animals. It's called Comfort for Critters, and what they do is they donate handmade pet blankets to shelters all around the U.S. They have chapters in many states, so you can go on their website and see if there's a chapter in your area. If there isn't one in your area for your local shelter, you can email the CEO or the contact person and request that they reach out to your shelter. You give them your local animal shelter's contact information, and they will reach out to them and see if they're interested in receiving the blankets from Comfort for Critters. These are provided free of charge to the shelters, and the only request is that when the animal gets adopted, that a blanket goes with the animal to their new home. If they don't have a local chapter, they will mail blankets to the shelter so that the shelter can still participate, even if there isn't a local contact person in that area to bring the blankets to the shelter. So this one I contacted to get my local shelter to see if my local shelter would be interested in this, and I would definitely make blankets and be willing to bring blankets over to the shelter. So I would definitely be more than happy to be the point person to collect blankets in my area and bring them to the shelter to save the postage for the organization. But they would mail them if there wasn't a point person. But I'd be more than happy to be that point person in my area for that. So then with that being said, you can, if you don't have the critter Comfort for Critters, you can also go to your local shelter. That's my 8th point here, my 8th place. Go to your local shelter or to a rescue group of your choice and ask them if they accept handmade crocheted blankets for their rescue animals. Can't hurt to ask and see if they accept them. And you just make them, ask them what sizes they want, if they have any specific needs or whatnot, and see if they can do that. There's also, at one point, the Carolina Waterfowl Rescue was taking crocheted knitted nests. I have a tutorial on my channel, which I can link below, but I do suggest that you contact the wildlife sanctuary, rescue groups to make sure that they are accepting birds' nests, because they may or they may not. They may be inundated with them. They might have a different need at this venture. That was a couple years ago that I made that video when they were during the Australian fires, when they were desperate for nests, because a lot of crafters were helping out the wildlife rescuers in Australia at the time. In the United States, wildlife rescuers were short on what they needed. So you might want to contact the wildlife sanctuaries in your area and see if they have any specific needs before you start making stuff. And my last organization is one that's specific to California and northern Nevada. It's called Alice's Embrace. This one's kind of, I couldn't find a local one in my area or like a national one, so this one kind of was a little bit dear to my heart, because one of my close friends, her mom has Alzheimer's, and though she's not at a point where she needs to be in a memory care facility, but this particular organization, Alice's Embrace, they make prayer shawls and lap blankets for residents in memory care facilities in California and northern Nevada. And that kind of really touched me, because at some point my friend's mom is going to probably be in a memory care facility, and I know lots of other people who've had elderly parents who were in memory care facilities. So it kind of like it tugged at my heartstrings. And they have specific, a list of specific yarns and specific patterns that they request crafters to use when making shawls and prayer shawls and blankets and stuff for their organization. They have specific reasons for it, and you can read about that on their website, because they can explain it far better than I can. So all of the links to all these charities will be in the description box below, so you can click on them and check them out. So that is the list of crochet charities that I have for you this week. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Happy crocheting! Bye-bye!